Today I'll be showing you how to create your own DIY POV camera rig for the price of a $25 bicycle helmet and 3 pieces of gold. Eye footage gold. Now, as you can see over my shoulder here, this is the DIY helmet itself, but before we dive into that, I would like to discuss just a couple of use cases that you might need this for, outside of course, a different perspective for either your short film or feature film. If you need to do any sort of hands-on tutorials that you need both hands, you can articulate whatever you need to on camera and still be free of not having to either hold your cell phone, hold a gimbal, hold an extra camera in your hand. And the final point is the price. Now, Tilta has a helmet that is fundamentally the same style, if you will, but it is $1,500. And to me, and I'm sure a lot of you indie filmmakers that can relate, can't really drop $1,500. And if you were, my guess is you'd drop that on lights or a lens or, I don't know, a secondary camera body or whatever it might be. So I'll walk you guys through how to create this yourself at home, a lot more budget friendly, and let's get into it. So by now, I'm sure you're wondering, Dan, what are these 3 random AHA cans sitting on the front of the table? By no means is this a sponsorship, but it is product placement. So AHA, if you see this, you're kind of the new addiction? Addiction? Yeah. Now, to highlight the helmet itself, I want to dive into just a couple of cool features that actually came with this, and this is just a Walmart walk-in. Not really anything else fit my head. I have kind of a big dome piece, so this guy was pretty much one of 2 options. The other one was more actual motocross helmet closed in on the jaw. I didn't want that. I needed the freedom for the camera to sit out in front. So with that being said, it does have slots here, as you can see on top. It does have a breathable nature to it, and outside of that, it has this really cool safety feature in the back that I did not want to block. So if you guys can see this little triangle, this guy, if you just press it, it stays red. Maybe you're shooting at night, maybe you just want to have that little extra bit of safety, and if you hit it again, you get kind of a flashing motion. I don't know if you can see that. Is it flashing? There we go. Now it's flashing. So, a little bit of added safety features there. So first off, you're going to need 4 baby cheese plates. I will link them in the description below, but as you can see, one of them is just right here on the top piece. You are also going to need 1 inch and 1 1/4 inch screws, machine screws. These guys right here, actually. These are the 1 1/4. Boom. So that's the 1 1/4, which I actually used in the back. I needed a little more push just because the V-mount sat off the back of the helmet more than it does for these 3. Definitely need your washers for each of these that you are screwing in, and also lock nuts. I was very inspired when I saw DoD Media, based out of the UK, do a similar video highlighting the eye footage spider crabs. Basically, you just find your mounting points where you want them. The front curvature is a little tricky because it's not so much of a flat base. The sides are much easier to handle, but you find your points that you need to. All I did was take I think it was a 2-inch nail that I had in the house, and I just kind of punctured the little holes where I needed to through the middle of the cheese plate, so you know you have your accuracy when you go to take your 1/4 inch drill bit, drill through it. And you'll also have to take a knife or some sort of blade, something sharp enough to cut away the inside of the helmet. You don't want to go too deep because, again, this is also the protection on your head. What the 1 inch screw does is it gets through just far enough and doesn't even come close to either your temples or the front of your head. You don't want to use the 1 1/4 for these 3 specifically. I used an 1 1/4 back here because the V-mount sticks out just a little bit more than these guys do. So I needed that extra kind of 1/4 inch just to really get through everything in the helmet and safely get a lock nut on the back. So with the V-mount here, I took a small rig V-mount plate. This is just drilled into one of the baby plates. It's actually a small rig rail system, but it has the same components of the baby cheese plates here on the sides. So I put the V-mount plate into that. Gives you the quick access on the back. I do have to reinforce, again, this is like maybe 85% of the way through. Just giving you guys the full breakdown here of how to really build this at your home. Once this is actually mounted on the back, very simply, that counterweight just becomes very even. Now you can see, like I said, it does sag just a little bit. I do have to do some reinforcing here Again, this is just prototype. Wanted to give you guys the breakdown of exactly how I put this together. Now, for the iFootage crab legs themselves, this is the 3 pieces of gold that I was talking about. Any of you indie filmmakers out there, I'm sure you can relate, when any sort of magic arm that you've used, there always tends to be some sort of off balance, or maybe 2 NPF style batteries are too heavy on the front, and they always seem to kind of move, whether it's on your actual camera or whatever you're mounting it to, or even opposite on the other end. Every magic arm I have ever used does not really do the job. I came across these spider crabs by iFootage. Unbelievable. The system that they have in place, which I would assume is patented because I've never seen anything else on the market like this. It's unbelievable how secure it becomes, how universal the actual attachments are themselves. These become your mounting points, so this gives you the freedom to place wherever you need to. Now, the beauty of these are, if you don't have a 3/8 thread, they have some little spring action. If you can see this, little spring-loaded action in the middle to give you right back down to a 1/4 inch. Unbelievable. It gives you the versatility to mount wherever. I've never seen anything like it. The security that it gives you as well, once you get these things really tightened down, it just doesn't move. These are the 11-inch. 3 of these, I believe they run about $100 US. So for what it is, yes, I understand it's a little pricey, but what you get on the back end is just, you can't beat it. I pretty much have thrown all of my other magic arms to the side. These are now the staple going forward. iFootage, good job. Once you have your mounting points here, it's as simple as that. They just pop on. Put your 90-degree angle, whichever way you need. Boom, lock that down, and then this becomes your added security as well. And that's it. John, this isn't funny, dude. You can come out now. John, where the fuck are you? What the fuck? Okay. What the fuck is this? Safe haven. All right, so here we have it rigged out. This is a couple days later since the video that you guys are watching, so I do have 2 of these cine milled added weights. Each of these are about 2.2 pounds, so it does bring that back where it's not so front heavy as I was discussing before. Want to talk about lens choice. So 12mm is about the closest you can get to the human eye. You do get great peripheral with this as well. Let me go ahead and grab this. So as far as a use case, something very natural. This basically gives you a perspective of eeriness. Obviously the house lights are on. This is just more for showing you guys. Easy. I don't know if you can come up on the actual back of the screen here.
Yeah.
You know, you don't really have to like force your hand up into frame, so lens choice is going to be definitely key when you're doing a POV. Not very heavy at all. Maybe you had to do a quick whip. These are also great to hang on to as well. None of this really shakes the camera if you move with your head. Not only does that help your neck strain, but it also kind of, it's a more natural movement up to what you want to see. Like, oh my God, you know, scary noise. Beyond just short film, feature film, different kind of perspective for the audience. Maybe this is for your own personal YouTube channel, tutorials. Maybe you're just doing a everyday vlog. You're just picking up your stuff. This is also great for unboxings if you get new equipment, lights, cameras, whatever you want to test and kind of record yourself. Maybe you don't have the ability to go overhead camera. This also comes into play. Again, 12mm gives you such a great range. Nothing that you really have to reach into frame for, so highly recommend this. Again, eye footage. You guys did a great job on these spider crabs. Holds it in place. Cindy milled, shout out to you guys. Really offset the weight. Nothing's really pulling front or back, so that's it. Here's your POV rig. And if you guys found this helpful or any sort of educational tip that you didn't know, go ahead and hit subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.